All right, we back with another episode of Any with Fat Funny. Today we got
J-Rock Jax.
All right, he's an up and coming artist from Connecticut. I just seen him on the Shirley and Friends stage this weekend. He looked like he stood out. Everybody, I was reading the comments. Everybody saying he was the all-star tonight. Did the best performance.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, everybody that was there. I was looking at the comments. They kept mentioning your performance.
Nah, everybody did their thing. Everybody for me. I was on that setup. So for me, but I appreciate everybody showing love for me. Like I appreciate that.
All right, so let's just get into it. So say I did my research. Say you was born in Florida, raised in Connecticut. What's the difference between being raised in Florida and then growing up in Connecticut?
All right, let me correct you though, because I was born in Connecticut. I was born in CT, New Britain, but I moved to Florida when I was really young. You feel me? Probably like 4 years old, and I moved back when I was in middle school. So I was kind of like my childhood foundation was in Florida, if that makes sense. And I came back over here for the rest. But I mean, the difference is, like I was in a suburban area, out there. So I mean, at the time, being young, I don't really know the difference between suburban and like I know the difference, but I don't really know what it really means. You feel me? Like me knowing that I'm blessed to be in the position I'm at or whatever the case may be at the time. So I kind of like, I ain't really look at it like that, but I was in the suburban area, I was in a nice area, nice neighborhood, went to a good school. I was even in a gifted class. Like I was a really smart kid, but like school was the cool thing at the time. So like that was what I was influenced to do, like be good in school, do what I gotta do and shit like that. So like I was always like, and then when I came back out here, it was a whole different game because the influences are a lot different out here, and
it's New Britain.
It's New Britain. Nah, you feel me? Like and I love where I'm from. I love the fact that I was able to, have my foundation in Florida first before coming back to New Britain, because I feel like I was able to have a sense of both aspects, like of having that key foundation was important for me because I was able to like steer myself, the right way in a lot of situations. So I was just happy to have that type of foundation. So yeah.
Yeah, that's what I like about you. I was watching some of your interviews, and sometimes, no offense to nobody, niggas be dumb. Like artists, you like, and you know what you're talking about. You got something to say, and you kind of intelligent. Other interviews I watch, they'd be like, huh?
No, I appreciate
what are you talking about? So you're not dumb. You just don't rap. You don't.
And a lot of times I swear, like a lot of times you hear me like, studying a lot of things, but I be having so many sentences in my head at one time that I be trying to get out. I'm trying to get the one sentence out. You feel me? Like in 5 different type of ways.
But yeah, so that's like I'd rather you stutter and have something to say than don't have nothing to say at all.
Yeah, that just comes from making music and all that. So.
All right. So why did you move to Connecticut? Because like that's Florida's Florida. Like you gonna come here with delusional ass weather. Yeah. Why did you move to Connecticut?
And I came back because my parents I was living with my father at the time out in Florida, and my mom was still over here in Connecticut, and at the time my father was going through some trouble with the law at the time. So right after I graduated 5th grade, going into middle school, it was just kind of like the best time to kind of make that transition, in the sense I was going to like another school already and stuff like that. It was kind of just the best time to go at that moment. And so I made that transition when I was about like 11 years old. And like I say, I'm just really blessed for the fact that I was able to have that type of, that type of environment, that type of aspect, that type of, foundation coming up. So I can see the difference coming as I keep growing and keep learning, All
right, so would you like more, Connecticut or Florida?
Come on now, man. Come on. I mean, don't get me. I love where I'm from. I love CT. I love New Britain. I really do. Like those are my roots at the end of the day. You feel me? It's my culture. But I really do enjoy traveling. I do it. I just went to Cali like for the first time, to be honest, like last week, and that was a great experience.
I love California.
It's one thing. It's one thing to say like and talk about it, but it's a whole other thing to actually be there. And experience it. So like,
only thing I hate is traffic. But besides that, listen. Nigga, it took us 3 hours to get to our hotel, and the hotel was a half hour away. No lie. It's like, shit, I don't want to be here no more. Take me home.
I'm looking at the map. It's places that's like 4 miles away. That should say like 29 minutes. So I'm like, ain't no goddamn way, bro. But like, it wasn't as bad as New York, though. I'll tell you that. I ain't feel like it was as bad as New York. So I don't know if I went.
Get out and walk. Like, if you take a train and walk, California, I don't know where I'm at. I gotta just sit here and wait till we get there.
Absolutely. But no, it was definitely dope, man. It was a good experience, and I was out there, networking, and I had the studio out there. You feel me? You feel me? It was a good experience. You feel me? Feel that environment, feel that atmosphere. So like, it was dope. It was definitely
so how did that feel? Like you really moving? People be up and coming artists and they stuck in their city, but like I see you in Atlanta, you in California. Like, how does that feel? Do it feel like you actually getting somewhere, or it's like,
well, I mean, you could say it depends on how you're looking at it, at what perspective, you feel me? Because like I feel like there's a lot of people that could be in a position, you know, I'm at, or somebody, you know, could be at a point in life and they could be really content at that position. They could be really happy at that position. But like, you know, someone like me, I look so like far ahead, and I'm always reaching for like bigger goals. And even once I get to that goal, it's like I'm reaching for something even bigger. So it's like I have big aspirations and
you don't get comfortable.
I don't get comfortable. Yeah, exactly. So like, yeah.
All right. So what were some of your biggest obstacles you faced growing up? Being that you was in Florida for some time, came to Connecticut, environment switch, you was in the suburbs, then went to New Britain. Like, so what were some of the biggest obstacles you went through?
You know, definitely my dad, you know, leaving for some time. You know, I spent a lot of years away from my father. You know, I was blessed enough not to have the type of father that was just gone, you know, just to be gone, but he was gone because he had no other choice in a sense. So, you know, that was definitely tough growing up, especially because that was my foundation at the time. And then, I say, you know, recently, 2020, you know, losing my cousin Jaylon Rose, and I lost a good friend of mine, Courtney Jones. So 2020 was a really hard year. You know, growing up, you know, it's a regular black household. You know, you struggle with, you know, my mom was a single parent. We struggle in the household. So that's, you know, I could talk about those struggles, but that's really common for a lot of people. So I think just the biggest things that was really key factors in my life as growing up was definitely my father leaving at some point, and then you know, losing two people that were really close to me in my life. So I think those are the biggest obstacles I've definitely had to, you know, try to overcome and wrap my head around and move forward from, you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, at least with your father, he left because he had to leave. Like you rare that you had a father like really raise you and take care of you.
Absolutely. So and I definitely, you know, I'm appreciative of that, and I'm blessed, you know, for that. So, you know, I always somebody like my dad's a great, you know, great person, great father. And you know, everybody had experiences in life, made some choices in life. So unfortunately, you know, certain outcomes.
It is what it is. Absolutely. As long as you fix a problem, you good.
Absolutely.
All right. So when did you start making music?
So my mother makes music and my father makes music.
So you might have a choice but to make music.
You feel me? Like in a sense. So I was always around it. You know, all my life I was always around it, in and out of studios, you know, seeing the environment, understanding the environment and stuff like that. But growing up, you know, I was always playing sports. My main sport was football. And at first it was basketball, but then it was football. And like I was just always, you know, in my own lane, because I felt like my father, my mom, that was their thing. So I'm like, let me find something that I could be great at, you feel me, that, you know, I could do. But don't get me wrong, I was always at the lunch tables, you know, getting right or whatever. You know, I was always rapping and, you know, in my notes, always making rhymes or whatever, writing rhymes. And so I was always attached to it. But I think it was junior year of high school, once that junior year football season ended, I think that's when I actually started like taking it a little more serious. I was in and out the studio more, you know, actually working on my craft. And then once I graduated high school and realized that I wasn't going to be playing football in college at the level I want to be playing at due to grades or due to whatever the reason was, that's when I actually like put my full, you know, I put my full energy into the music. That's when I went, you know, all in.
So when did you realize you had it, that this music could take you to the next level?
When I woke up. Nah. Listen, I you know, I feel like I've always had the most confidence in myself, always, you know, no matter what I did. So like even the first day that I felt like that I even said in my head that, I'm gonna make music, I felt like I could do it. You know, I can make it to whatever level that I'm trying to make it to, you feel me? Because like I have the most confidence in myself, and I'm a firm believer, and there's nobody that can tell you can't do something other than yourself. You feel me? So
I like that, because I tell people you gotta be cocky, but you real humble but cocky. I like that.
That absolutely, yes sir. So
all right, so if you wasn't making music, what would you be doing now?
If I wasn't making music, what would I be doing right now? Like, if I wasn't making music,
if you weren't pursuing music, you could still be making music, doing anything. But if you
weren't pursuing anything with music, honestly, I'd probably be coaching right now. I'd probably be coaching either for football or basketball, if not both. You know, I've worked with the kids, middle schoolers, elementary kids, because I've worked with Parks and Recreation from my city for a long time. And, you know, it was always something that was big for me, because I had a coach when I was in middle school that I have a great connection with to this day. Shout out to Coach Simi. And so I know what those connections mean for the kids and stuff like that. So I always try to give, you know, me coming into the schools, and I got dreads, you know, I played football, I rap. And me telling them to do their homework is way different from a teacher to telling them to do their work. You feel me?
So, not to cut you off, how did that feel when you went back to your middle school? Because that I know that feels good. And you like a role model to these kids. Because I know some of us go back to our middle school. They ask me, "What the fuck you gonna talk about to the kids?" So like, how did that make you feel?
It was a surreal moment, to be honest, because like the program I went to go talk to and in particular was I think they're called the Game Changers right now. And at the time when I was in the middle school, it was called the STARS program. It was called the STARS program. And so what the program is, it's not for bad kids, but kids that, just want to get them on the right track and, keep them on the right track or get them away from certain influences or whatever the case may be. And so me coming back and just being able to talk to that same group that I was once a part of, and be some type of inspiration for that group, it was definitely a surreal moment and a full circle moment, realizing that, I'm definitely making a difference in what I'm doing. I'm doing something right. Absolutely. So it was dope, man. Definitely a dope experience.
All right. So how would you describe your sound?
I know you hear that 808 in the back right now. Nah, I have a lot of different I feel like I have a lot of different sounds. I feel like I don't have one main sound. In a sense, cause I feel like I have my own sound, if that makes sense, but I don't cater to not one type of style of music, if that makes sense. So I'd say I'm just a very versatile person, a very versatile artist. And that's what I really take pride on, because my mother was a singer, more of a singer. She rapped too, but my mother was more of a singer. And my father made reggae music. He came from Haiti. He was more on that type of vibes in a sense. So I was always trying to craft my music around different things that I liked. Anything, whether it was rhythm music, rap music, singing, whatever the case may be, whatever I like, that I feel like, I try to get on it. So I think I'm a very versatile artist, I say.
All right, so you say you just grab your sound basically from everything growing up.
Absolutely. Studying different sounds, studying different people, it's like you got to be a student of the game, if that's something that you actually like to do. Same way if you play basketball, you got to study certain players, certain players that you might want to be like, or certain players that you get inspiration from. You got to study the whole game. So I try to do that.
All right, so what's your standout track? If I had to tell somebody, now you need to check him out, what song you gonna tell me to play?
I would probably say, like Whole Lotta maybe, just because I feel like that's a universal song where
that's
like
my favorite, the one on TikTok. That's it's catchy, so you learn it quick.
Absolutely, I appreciate that. Just because it's more of a universal song, got that head knocker type feel. I think one of my most streamed songs was Intro, but that's more on that, I'd say trap sound, kind of whatever the vibe is. But so I'd say a Whole Lotta just because that's more of a universal type of sound.
Mainstream hit, everybody could get on to it.
Absolutely. And shout out to DJ Michi, man, because he's been showing crazy love, man. As soon as I dropped that record, he had it on the radio and he's just showing a lot of love. So I appreciate DJ Michi. Shout out to him.
All right. So when did your music start going up?
I say like 2020. I say like 2020 when I had I started having a few videos go viral on TikTok, and that's when I started building my TikTok following. I think I gained like about like 30,000 followers in like a span of a week.
That's great.
And it just kept growing from there, and it was dope because on other social media platforms, you gotta pay to get certain marketing. You gotta pay to get to certain areas. Or whatever the case may be. But now with TikTok, and now because of TikTok, IG and Facebook and all these other platforms are now competing with TikTok. So TikTok just paved the way because TikTok's actually getting your if you hit certain algorithms, you can make it to so many different parts of the world, for free. So nothing really beats that. So it's definitely been a great platform.
All right, so you said that TikTok basically took you to the next level. How important do you feel like TikTok is to blow up an up-and-coming artist? Some people, I'm not gonna say older, but it's more traditional people, they think they don't need TikTok to blow up. But you don't understand. You could drop this video at 0 followers, 0 views, and tomorrow morning you could be up.
Absolutely.
So
I would say really with that, I would say really with that, it's not really I wouldn't say it's really TikTok in particular that you got to really invest into. I'd say it's just social media as a whole, because TikTok had its wave, but it's also like dying down in a sense, which is probably going to kick back up in a little bit. But these things always have their waves, and they have their algorithms, and they have what's popping at the moments. So you just really got to be on it consistent enough to understand what's really popping at the moment, what's really catching the most traction at the moments, and make sure you're taking advantage of those key moments. And that goes for any upcoming artist. It doesn't matter where you're at. You don't have to have the most money. You don't have to have the best, location, the best environments. You could be in your room sitting down, but just put that content out there. It's really about just being consistent. As consistency is key. You feel me? Like, at the end of the day with whatever you're doing, rapping, whatever you're doing. So.
All right. Do you consider yourself a part of Connecticut music scene or?
Absolutely. I'm born and raised in CT. Absolutely.
All right. No, because some people think they real better than us. Like they
Nah,
want
yeah,
to separate themselves.
I know a few cats too, like from CT. You know, that the first thing they'll rap is other places from the tri-state. You know, maybe it's from like Boston, New York, whatever the case may be, just to get them, make them feel like it's because these places have bigger markets and they have bigger fan bases. So a lot of people think that if they cater to these places and say they from these places,
we get Connecticut there.
But exactly, you feel me? Like I'm all about the CT culture, man. I want to see the CT culture keep growing, keep expanding, man. I see a lot of success in the CT culture in these next coming years, man. I just see a vision for it. There's a lot of people working really hard, and that's not just with the music. That's with the videos. That's with a lot of behind the scenes stuff. People are working really hard right now, and so shout out to everybody doing their thing right now. It's gonna take off really soon. Just stay patient.
All three of the questions I had after that, you just answered.
Absolutely.
So all right. Besides yourself, what artists on the rise from CT you bump? Who you listen to from Connecticut?
Anybody in my camp, shout out to Money West, shout out to J Sturdy, shout out to Glory Boy, shout out to Kev Lyric. Anybody in my camp, I'm always bumping the guys in my camp. Shout out to Annoyed, shout out to Snowpro. I've been working with a lot of different CT artists. Shout out to everybody doing their thing, but I really, I'm not even really of a person that you can ask me if you heard that new like album, and I'm gonna be like, nah, I didn't even hear it yet. You feel me? Because like I'm just always in my own like bubble in a sense, just always listening to what I got going on or whatever the case may be. Because as an artist, I don't like to really like let other sounds or let other people influence me too much at this stage right now. So I try to just keep it tight in between my circle, if that makes sense,
No, I get it, because sometimes I listen to somebody else, now I want to make a song that sounds like
exactly, you feel me? Like exactly the case, so yeah.
All right, so let's talk about music. So you release a lot of projects. Like I think you the only nigga I know like every 3 months or something, like an album or something dropping.
Absolutely.
What was your favorite project release? And like, did you actually see the growth in between the projects, or just like you making music, or you was like, nah, that now hindsight, that album was trash. Like, why would I even put that out?
Absolutely. No, I think I definitely see the growth, and I try to give myself a second between projects just for that key reason, because I'm making music every single day, and I'm playing with my sound every single day. So I have to give myself a little second to listen to this album and give myself a few, a little bit of time. So by the time I listen to that next album, I can actually tell the difference and see what type of growth I'm actually making. But I think the my favorite, every album that I put out is my favorite at the time, but I feel like just one of the key albums that I put out in my career thus far that really meant the most, that meant a lot to me, especially at the time, was Rose Gold. And I put that out in 2020, same year that I lost two of my good friends. So, it was just a very meaningful project for me. I feel like at the time that was when I was feeling very confident in myself as an artist. Like probably that's when I started gaining like a lot of confidence with it, like I already knew I could do it, but like now I know I really have it right now, and I just gotta keep going. You feel me? That's when I started gaining that type of confidence with that album right there. So I'll say that was just a very key album for me, a very key moment in my career.
All right. So I believe behind every great artist is a greater team. So let's talk about your management team. Yeah. Plat Life.
Yes.
Like you put together you got the total package from your social media to everything. Like, so your team is doing something right. Let's talk about them, who they are, how did y'all meet? What's the plans for the future?
So shout out to Plat Life ENC. We had locked in about 2 years now, but we got locked in through a family connect, really. And so went to the studio, chopped it up, and the vibe was there, so we made it work. And then from there we just took off. It's a great group of guys. Everybody want to see each other win. You feel me? It's nobody's in it for it's no I in the team sense. You feel me? So everybody just playing their role, and they doing a great job right now. Right now for the next upcoming months, we growing this website right now, which is gonna be dope because it's gonna give my fan base opportunity to connect with me on a deeper level. And then we got a lot of the merch coming out right now. We just kind of took some time on that merch for a little bit just so we can make sure we get it right. But it's getting to that point in time where we're getting confident, and then we're gonna start rolling that out pretty soon. And then just continuing to grow the brand, man. That's just the key thing right now. Just continue to grow the brand. Just stay in motion, stay doing different taking different opportunities, being at different places, just stay in motion, just keep building the brand. So that's the biggest thing we're focusing on right now.
All right, so if somebody called you tomorrow with a label off, a label deal, would you take it?
It depends. It depends on what what the deal's looking like. So it just gotta make sense at the end of the day. We've been in rooms with a lot of different people thus far. I'm still I'm not tied down to nothing right now. We just waiting for the right opportunity that makes the most sense.
Make the most money at the end of the day. People will try to fuck.
You feel what I'm saying? A lot of times people are just so quick to grab that second opportunity, that third opportunity. They're just so quick to grab. You feel me? Because a lot of people where we're from, they're not educated. You feel me? But like
that's what it is. You see this couple, they giving people $10,000 and they taking it, running it like
exactly my
I can
point.
make that.
Exactly my point. So just staying patient. Like at the end of the day, man, like we've manifested. Up to this point right now, and I'm a very firm believer in manifestation. I know that I'm gonna get to the point where I'm trying to get to. So it's just all about patience right now, and just staying, being appreciated for the moment as well. You feel me? Like I know a lot of times I'm always reaching for like, what I have my goal set on, and I'm always looking further, but enjoying the moment is very important. I feel like a lot of people
names out there, like
absolutely,
it's just crazy. It's a lot of people that you didn't hear nothing about them, and now every day you seen them pop up somewhere. So like whatever y'all doing right. So shout out to your team.
Absolutely, I appreciate that, man. Shout out to Platt Life ENT.
All right, so you had the Western Theater show. Like, how was that like?
That was dope, man. That was my first headlining opportunity, my first headliner experience. So it was definitely dope, man. It was everything I could have imagined it to be. So
yeah, because that's real different from doing them showcases with like 10 people there.
Absolutely,
or 10 people performers.
But listen, but like that's the grind, man, and that's the come up, man. At the end of the day, man, that's what's gonna get your performance to perfection. So like even if you perform in front of 1,000 or you perform in front of one person, you feel me? Like just embrace the moment, you feel me, and enjoy the moment and take it as an experience for a reason, you feel me? Like if you perform in front of one person, take it as a little practice run, you feel me? Whatever the case is, like, you got to start somewhere.
Yeah. All right. So what's the craziest thing you ever heard about yourself?
Craziest thing I ever heard about myself?
Like you want to come up now, so I know rumors about to start.
Craziest thing I've ever heard about myself. People don't really be talking. I don't really interfere with too much like negative energy too much to really hear anything crazy about myself. I mean, back in high school is probably where it'd be like the worst stuff. You feel me? But I was a little thought in high school, so like I can't even be mad about that. You feel me? But like I don't know. I can't. You feel me? I ain't hard. I can't rap or. That's the craziest thing I ever heard. For me, like I don't care who you put me next to. You feel me? Like I feel like I could compete with anybody. You feel me?
You're an artist. Like a lot of people try to do that drill shit now, and I just don't like it. Like it's just like everybody want to be a drill artist.
I think with that too, like a lot of people, especially from CT, is like you see a lot of people cater to that New York drill scene, and it's like the craziest thing to me is that you feel me. CT already had their own sound.
Right. Now
CT had their own sound already. You feel me? CT had their own sound. Snoper popped off with the Yank rhythm. Chill Shump still got his sound going off crazy right now. But yo, that was CT's sound. We had to dumb it out. We was dancing. So the same way we see all these TikTok kids on TikTok right now doing these, you feel me? They getting sturdy.
You should have stayed with it in Connecticut.
You feel me? But the thing is with CT, cats will be quick to jump on New York drill scene, but nobody gonna jump on the CT drill scene because nobody want to be biters though. Nobody want to seem like they copying.
But
you feel me? But everybody gonna jump on the New York drill scene, but nobody gonna jump on the CT scene that's already popping right now and jumping right now. You feel me? That got a movement that's from where we from. You feel me? Because nobody want to seem like a copy or a copycat, whatever the case may be. So exactly. So it's a lot of that is just the mindset, the mindset of the people out here, whatever the case may be. But I say CT do got a sound, and I think we definitely gotta start pushing that sound a little more. And I got a few tracks right now. Been locked in with Chill Shump. I'm actually about to have a session with him as soon as I get out of here. But we've been locked in, trying to make a few more songs that feel like could be an anthem, in a sense. So catering to those type of vibes right now. All
right. So what would you say you get the deal you want tomorrow? What's the first thing you purchasing?
I'm either gonna get my mama her dream house or her dream car. That's gonna be the first thing I do right there. After that, you feel me? I'll figure it out from there. That'll be the first thing I do right there.
All right.
I feel like it's worth it right there.
So I got a question I ask everybody that come up here. Well, you the first person to ask. I changed the question because I stole the first one from Drink Champs. Just another one. So, would you rather be respected or feared?
I'd rather be respected. I don't want to be feared. I ain't even about that type of, you feel me, that type of vibe, that type of energy, you feel me? I'm a very neutral person, you know, like I was always, you know, you could say a popular kid growing up, but I was friends with everybody, you feel me? I was friends with the most nerdiest kid in the school, you feel me?
Real humble.
You know, like
you don't gotta be the tough motherfuckers. Want to be tough? What are you?
I feel like a lot of people just feel like they have something to prove, and they want to, like I said, they have something to prove. So they always trying to make a point, in a sense, you feel me? And I feel like, you know, I'm just so past that, and I'm a very spiritual person. So I don't even, you know, I don't wrap my head around that type of stuff or that type of energy, man. I don't.
All right.
Yeah.
So what does the future look like for J-Rock?
Man, I could go on and on about where I see myself in the future. You know, I got big aspirations for myself, but, you know, just to keep it short, you know, I see myself, you know, being one of the top artists in the music industry. You know, I see myself, you know, changing the culture in where I'm from, you know, in my environment, and I see myself putting the people around me in an even better position than they already in, you know. So that's what we manifesting right now.
All right, so where can everybody find you at on social media?
I go by J-Rock Jax everywhere. You can find me on Apple Music at J-Rock Jax. You can find me on IG, TikTok, any social media. J-Rock Jax, you know. So I appreciate y'all for having me today as well.
I want to thank you for coming. This is probably one of the best interviews I think I did. So I appreciate you for coming through. But that's it.
I appreciate you, man.
That's a wrap.